Call. Two men. One named Rich. That's me.
This is Jermaine. Just got off the toilet.
He's a foul man. This is the X's and O's of life.
Huh?
It's so stupid. Every time it's so stupid.
I got on the same exact shirt from that recording. I told you, man, I got put on the same undershirts. Oh, okay, you got the tree up. Oh,
Yeah.
Thanksgiving shit. Can you at least let Thanksgiving go down first?
Did you see who I married?
Oh my God. Y'all like motherfucking Family Dollar and shit. Like, soon as Halloween's over, boom, they transfer right into Christmas. Like, fuck Thanksgiving, fuck everything in between. Fuck that it's 2 months down the road. It's Christmas season immediately.
It's cute that you didn't think this already happened 2 weeks ago.
I didn't see it. I didn't see it yesterday.
Oh, why now? Well, because I had to. I had it like I'm on an angle now. I'm like, hey, let's get some light in here. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like the whole fucking table is filled with ornaments and shit. I'm like, this is okay.
See, like my mom, when I grew up, she would plant because my mom had an artificial tree, so she didn't have like your typical, pine tree. So she had an artificial tree that you put up with a pole, and it had little slots, and you had to put the stems in it or whatever. So because it took a long time, my mom did start early. Like she would start maybe beginning of December, and we would do it in sections. Like she would call. I mean, it's 5 kids, so it would be like who got duty that day. Like everybody would switch out duty. It'd be like she'll call you, and you'd be like, "Fuck!" Like she would call me. I'm like, because I wasn't tall. Of course, when we did the bottom, like she would start with the bottom, and that was me. That was my duty because motherfucking. Of course, I couldn't get to the middle or the top, so I had to do the bottom little section, and then she would call in my other brother to do the other section. Like, and it wasn't all done in one day. It was like days. Like she would, hey, that's enough. Bottom section's done, and then we'll sit there for a couple of days, and then until she felt like, hey, let's do the middle section, and then we'll get to the top, and then after that, it's full blown decorating, putting the ornament, the balls, whatever they call Christmas balls and candy canes and fucking lights and all types of shit. It was a drawn out process. And then as long as it took to put that thing together, when Christmas was over, you would have, kids would come over, friends, but dang, y'all Christmas tree still up? We're like, fucking yeah, it's still up. It'd be like February and shit. And then nobody want to take it down because it took so much effort to put it up. It's like, man, I ain't taking down all that work, but eventually she would take it down. But still,
I had an idea, and I threw it towards her. I was like, what if we did like a tree for every season, like just left the tree up, but just decorated that bitch differently.
Oh, with like different type of ornaments mean different type of things.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, for your live tree people, that tree wouldn't last. Well, I mean, it would have to be an artificial.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I kind of want to do like a Halloween tree. I think that shit would be fun. Like orange and purple.
Don't give the fucking American public any ideas because they'll adopt and institute that shit ASAP.
Hey, revolutionary. I mean, shit, we're number 1 on Google, or we're number. Just saying, fucking trailblazers.
So welcome to that. Well, we already had the intro, so I guess we don't have to say our names and X's and O's. But yeah, missed last week. I got caught up at the office. Bunch of review time. I'm still doing them shits. I'm still doing them.
Yeah.
Nightmare management, man, is like right around this time is year-end reviews, man, and that shit takes time.
Yeah, no, I've been privy to them. I know how hard you guys have to go in the paint. I mean, I don't know how it is over where you're at now, but I can't imagine it's much different than it was at the former
It's not
job.
quite
So
as detailed as at said job yet,
yeah,
but it's still enough. I mean, you got to understand your people's raises are tied to your comments, so you got to
right.
have some. You can't just say uh, Billy Bob did a good job. Like you got to come out with a paragraph. But it's one of those things where I've learned in all my years, the best way to get them done is I do three of them. And then I mirror the rest of them off of those three. I do a good one, a bad one,
Okay.
and a motherfucker in the middle.
Okay.
And once I get those three done, people got similar performances. I take Sally's name off and put on Susan.
Yeah, you kind
So
of build a template for you. That's smart,
yeah,
man.
I
Work
mean,
smarter,
you
not
always
harder.
you want a good one, a
Yeah.
bad one, and a lay in between one. And most of the time, the rest of the people that's on your team match one of
Right.
those two.
You just kind of add some
A
idiosyncrasies
little
and
little
everything's
comment
fine.
specific.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm giving away my secrets, but it ain't no secret. I mean, anybody in management does the
Right.
same thing. We all do the same thing, so don't.
Maybe
It's not hard.
your first year in it, you're writing down everything super
Oh
detailed.
yeah, like the
Then
first. I want to say the
yeah.
first couple years I started doing it. Man, I remember it was like me and the other supervisor. We was in there from like the shift was over at 11. We would be in there till 6 o'clock that morning getting those shits done, trying to detail each specific one. Man, after that
Then
bullshit,
realize that it don't even fucking matter. It's like,
yeah.
okay.
And like when you get to the end of the review and you share it with the said representative, they don't give a fuck.
Nope.
They breeze through the comments and they say, what's the raise? And that's all they care
Yep.
about. So
Pretty
you
much.
sitting up there like, hey man, you better read through that shit. I took a lot of time on that shit. They don't care.
And you look at them, it's like that sounds like that's a you problem. Like you
yeah.
didn't work smarter.
Yeah. I mean, it got to
Yep.
the point where, after that, and they didn't care. Like I said, I would slap on that different name. One
Mhm.
review, I was going over and I forgot to take the hers out and put the hymns in and shit. So I'm sitting there reading the review. I'm like, oh shit. It was like Sam can't do her review. And I'm like, oh shit. I forgot to take the hymns. I mean, so I had to go back and eat that and rewrite that one. But that's about the only mistake I made. I mean, like, you don't put a lot of time in them shits. Like I said, you get your three, you spend the most time on your three. The power of three. Once you get them shits, you're good to go. Template.
Yeah. It's busy work, man. That's just smart. Like it's brilliant. I mean, I would imagine a lot of people kind of institute that when they're in that position. Because yeah, you can't sit because at the end of the day, let's say you got 15 people on your team. There is no fucking way in hell 15 people are doing their job completely different. That you need to build like 15 different templates. You're out of your
It's basically okay, if we use 15 as a number, it's basically 10 or in the middle. They're just just enough. And then you probably got two that are struggling mightily, and theirs are bad. And you got two people that go above and beyond, and theirs are good. I mean, it's just how it falls.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Well,
I don't know why we got. Oh yeah, I want to say, damn, that became a small topic, but no, that's why I said I missed the X's last week. So
yeah.
Still doing those shits, but yeah, let's get into the meat and potatoes.
Yeah.
Of this thing.
So, two kind of quick hitting topics, and then a draft, and then we already have the episode kind of build up for next Wednesday too. It's going to be a shorter one because it's the day before Thanksgiving, and we're not going to let's be fully honest. I don't imagine a lot of views on next week's episode. Just probably not going to happen.
That just reminded me. Remember that fucking one episode?
I fucking remember.
You tried to DDT me and shit right here on the fucking scene.
Jermaine, you can't do that.
Yeah, and we wasn't even on video. You was just like, man, why you keep burping? I was like, what the fuck? I'm gonna slam the shit out of you in here.
Oh man, those are the initial days where I'm sitting there thinking like, oh, so we have to be super professional. We need to have one episode that's no cuts, another one no.
Those were the episodes where I clapped more than the church choir.
Oh my god, it was funny.
I was clapping away, boy.
Like there was
On
a
these
time
live
being where
video
I'm like,
ones, I don't clap at all. I mean, it's like I can see. I still talk with my hands. You already know
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Still,
It
I
just
was
was funny. I'm
clapping
like, is he black or is he Italian? I don't fucking know anymore.
I was clapping
He's
away.
Blatalian.
Yeah, blood Italian.
Blatalian. There you go.
Oh shit.
Oh God, I know we like sometimes kind of touch on this stuff, but it is just kind of awe-inspiring and just funny. Just thinking about like we're talking like we're seasoned vets, but like legit, there's about like 100
I'm
episodes of all
saying, I
this
mean,
shit.
like
Like
April seems like it was like 3 years ago.
legit,
It was just April. Like that's crazy. We haven't even came up on a year yet.
right? It's just kind of it's just I think it's a humbling thing to always kind of keep that in mind because it's funny. Like there's like it's almost like bloopers. Like the first like 20 episodes were absolutely just like the fuck you guys doing? We
Yeah,
don't know. We're trying though.
it was either two of the most memorable. Of course, the first one with the clapping, and then the
Yeah.
Burt one, and then the one where we were evangelists. Yo, that was like we had convinced
Oh.
ourselves we were worth fucking gold, yo.
Oh God, it's so funny.
Do you even still deal with Patreon anymore? I remember we used to talk about that shit like every episode.
I've yet to have anyone apply to it, so I'm like, fuck it, whatever, man.
Like I
If
noticed you don't even talk about it no more.
well, so here's kind of my you know thought of it, right? So I'm not worried about like subscriptions. If people want to go in there and like give us a little financial love for our time and our efforts and what we provide, cool. It's appreciated. You don't gotta like sign up for anything or anything like that. It's just kind of like, hey, cool. If you want to do it, great. I mean, we'll. It's one of those things where it feels better. It feels better if people just willingly want to do it. Like if you're sitting here trying to peddle, like, sir, may I have a
Yeah,
quarter?
because it was like you kept on saying it was like it was like you know how your superior tells you, would you like to volunteer to do this? Really, you're being voluntold. So really, you were like volunteer. You was like give if you can, but you kept saying it so much that it was like
Yeah.
please give it to us.
Like at
It
that
was
point, you
like
might as well just be sending around a collection plate.
yeah, basically you kept saying,
God,
hey,
it was funny.
we're not looking for any handouts
But
with your hand.
my hand is open. If something is to fall into it on
We're not
accident
looking for any
purpose,
type of handouts, but my hand is open, like you said, and it can something can fall inside of it.
absolutely. On accident purpose, and I will definitely not close my hand on whatever falls in my hand.
uh, yeah.
That shit's funny. All right, well let's kind of get into it because we will literally go down memory lane, and hell, we can even do that on Thursday a little bit. Just gonna have some fun with it. Yeah.
Thursday.
Or fucking Wednesday. Yeah, fuck you. You know what I mean.
Like what?
So we kind of touched on this yesterday a little bit. It was a bit of a teaser. So first of all, apparently I'm addicted to Twitter, which is fucking sad. I really am not proud of it.
People.
It's amusing to me because it's just like it's like the worst grouping of society, but like they're in like a fucking box, and it's like, oh man, you guys are not either they're not bright or they're batshit crazy or they love Kenny Pickett, which makes them kind of fall into those first two boxes too. But I saw a little clip, and it may be kind of the viral thing. I don't know. I'm too old to fucking pay attention to that stuff. Even saying viral makes me like feel weird inside. But it was this kid. This dude hung a pitch, and dude just completely steamrolled that pitch. Beautiful swing, young kid. He's like 13, 14. Good stroke. And anyone that's ever watched baseball knows what a bat flip is, right? So it's the equivalent, if you don't know, it's the equivalent of a touchdown celebration. But it's kind
Or
of
like
like,
a football and you spin it and it's like
right.
spinning or whatever. Yeah.
Right. So it's just kind of like yeah, I pimped that shit and I'm just gonna flip my bat. Fucking it's just a fun part of the game. I enjoy it greatly. Now, I saw like a few people like losing their shit about it. Like, it's arrogant. You can't teach kids this. You can't do, it was a bit of a back and forth. And I'm like, so let me get this straight. And you mentioned it yesterday. It's like, okay, I scored a touchdown. Let me just hand the ref the ball. Ain't no one trying to do that. And
I
I
think
think
the
about,
majority of those people that say or have an opinion of, oh, it's arrogant and all that, is the people. It's a form of jealousy.
well, yeah, they're the
It's
ones that they're the ones that threw the pitch.
yeah,
They're the
either that or it's they can't do it, so they're
right.
like, hey, I'll never have a moment like that. So you know, move on. It's
Right.
like, okay, you'll never have the talent to do this shit. So of course you're gonna have an opinion of it. It's like
Mm-hmm.
I don't
And
know.
well,
Go ahead.
the narrative these people were, and I kind of want to go from like young to pros, but you just think back, whether it be football, hockey, baseball, whatever, right? Um, even basketball too, because I mean, you like there are signature moves essentially in these sports of certain players. Like they got their certain thing that they do, and as a child, a kid, fuck, even adults, hell, let's be honest. Um, you see that, and especially as a kid, you just see. I mean, baseball was my sport growing up, right? So you're in there, you have your batting stance like your favorite player. You do that, and then you get a big knock, and you just emulate them, right? Because it's like this pseudo weird hero thing. That's just what sports people are to sports fans, and just the absolute fire and disdain I saw from some of these people saying it's arrogant, saying it's, and I'm just like, what? The kids aren't supposed to have fun? Like, even somebody said, like, I bet you don't have any kids. I'm like, bitch, I got two. And let me explain this to you. Have you ever seen, because she said, yeah, she was like, I bet you never had kids or coached kids or been around kids. I'm like, never coached kids, but the other two, check those boxes. And have you ever seen kids when they're not in a necessarily organized sport? They are having the time of their lives. They're emulating their favorite players.
It ain't even
You
got to be a
got
sport. I mean, like even if let's suppose you eat a bag of chips and the wastebasket is a little bit far away.
fucking
If
Kobe.
you take a shot, you're going to holler out the name of the basketball player you think you're Jordan,
Huh?
or you're Kobe. I mean, like you're not even playing a sport. Like, so you're trying to tell me that that's being arrogant or that's
Right. And I have the belief
shooting
that
a fucking
arrogance
trash bag into the what?
and,
Okay.
and I and I don't and I wanted to articulate it to this person, but she was kind of a goddamn retard, so I just stopped at that point because I'm like, you're just gonna irritate me, so I'm just not gonna do this anymore
Yeah,
with you.
sometimes you realize you're talking to a brick fucking wall, and then you say, "Well, what am now? I'm stupid by continuing to talk to this brick wall. So let me just
Pretty much.
turn my
Right.
head and
Who's
talk to
the
someone
asshole here at this point? Right.
with some fucking reason." Yeah. With celebrations,
Well, here,
I mean,
real
I
quick,
played Pop Warner football,
before we jump into that,
and
I want to ask you a question because this person made us out to be the arrogance was after they hit the home run and did a little pimp job, did a little, you know, I think arrogance comes before the play. It can't come after the play. Because I think arrogance is a like that je ne sais quoi that you got, that whole like, that big dick energy you're bringing to the table before you do it. Like it's like I know I'm about to do this, but after you do it, I
there's a
think that's just a
fine line between
celebration,
arrogance and confidence. Like
right?
You
But
have to be
can you
confident
be
enough
arrogant
that you
after it
can
though?
do whatever you just did. Otherwise, you're gonna strike the fuck out. Or if you sit there and tell yourself you can't do it, you can't do it, you can't do it, or don't be too arrogant or be humble. Or you think people make plays off of humbleism?
Right. Like it's no fun. Like you look at basketball, someone gets fucking postered. Like it's you your dick was all up in his face. Don't cut that either because we have cuttable material from last night and tonight.
No, but that dude that went up and postered the dude, did you think that he went up and said, "No, I don't want to offend nobody with this dunk"? But he
Right.
gonna try to, what the fuck? He's coming up like, try to stop me. And
Yeah, it's like
if you get poster size trying to stop me, that's your fucking fault.
that's my point because the thing I was telling this person too. It's like if you don't like it, pitch fucking better. So because they made it out to be like, oh well, what about the pitcher? Fuck the pitcher. You don't think at any point in that pitcher's life that he ever got a big strikeout or he made someone look like a fool and he just looked at him. It's like you I just made you look all kinds of silly. Like you can't do too much as a pitcher. Like you can't fucking spike the ball or
If
anything.
you
You know.
don't want to see, Cam Newton said it the best when he had
Yes,
his
I know
MVP
exactly what you're gonna
year
say.
and
Yep.
he was fucking doing the dabs and all types of shit. They asked him, "Why do you do this to piss people off or arrogance?" He was like, and this was his key quote. And he said, "If you don't like what I'm doing when I get in,
Fucking stop me.
don't let me in." I mean, like, if you don't want to see the fucking ridiculous celebration I'm gonna do, you better do everything you can to stop me from getting there. That's your fault.
And
If you
it's
let me into your
fun.
end zone, I have the right to do what the fuck I want to do after that.
Like and look, let's call it as it is. Um, would you rather see the excitement and the charisma and the fun celebrations and the excitement, just that emotion, or do you want to see a bunch of vanilla white bread white dudes tip their cap? It's like, oh, good play, chap. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Stop it. Just
That's just
stop it.
too cornbread, too cookie cutter, like handing the ball to the rep. Like that's just
Right. You see these
it,
300-pound linemen fucking spiking that ball into the seventh layer of hell. They're like, fuck yeah.
yeah.
And it's
I
just
mean, how can
it's an
you rob
emotional thing.
that little
Right.
moment from that person? I mean, they worked hard. They were the ones that went to practice all week.
Uh-huh.
It's us. It's a reward or a combination of their hard work. So you're gonna tell me that I worked all week, not you, you fucking clown in the stands. I worked all week, sweated 2 hours of practice, and I'm finally seeing the fruits of my labor as getting in
Mm-hmm.
the end zone. And I'm not supposed to be excited. I'm supposed to just keep moving and just.
Do you remember the Joe Buck call? And this is like this is one of like the more annoying things. Like when Randy Moss scored and
I
he
was thinking about
mooned.
it. I mean, there is you
Yeah.
can't go overboard when he was like,
But do
I
you
guess he pulled
remember?
his pants
It's
down to Joe Buck. He was like,
disgusting.
that is disgusting. I was
I'm
like,
like, shut the fuck up, Joe Buck.
it was not disgusting. Like he made it seem like it was like something that you got to put an X on the screen and you can't show your kids. Like he whipped his dick out on the field or some
Right,
shit. Like nah.
Joe Buck's like, wow, that's a lot of dick.
I mean, yeah, I mean
Now
that was
there has been
classless by pulling
celebrations,
his pants down and acting like he pulling his pants down like he's
right?
shitting. It was classless. Like now that is going too far, but it wasn't disgusting. Like he
It
made it
was
seem like it
silly.
was.
It was silly. I mean, yeah. Now Randy, I I feel like if that was like Calvin Ridley, he'd be like excommunicated. But it was Randy fucking Moss. It's
Yeah.
Randy fucking Moss. It's like,
Well, Randy had already tore up the league at that point. It wasn't like you couldn't do anything to him. What was you
I
going
don't
to kick him
know.
out of the league? He don't give a fuck. His reputation is already
Resume's
solidified.
already filled. I mean, there has been a few of them where To stood on the fucking the
Star.
star like that. there are certain unwritten things. And then you had Juju acting like a fucking douche nozzle, dancing, like doing whatever the fuck he did, like ripping up the fucking. I think it was like the Bengals. He was like ripping up the fucking emblem in the middle of the field in pre games. Like
Oh
there's
yeah,
certain things you
stepping
don't
on it or
do.
something. I
Right.
mean, there's a difference between disrespectful and then just celebration. Like disrespectful, yeah, like you, Randy and someone else. It's disrespectful, you know. So I'm not gonna say that I'm totally for it, but I'm not horrendified or whatever. I'm trying to make a word up.
Horrendified. That shit sounds official though.
I mean, like, I am not distraught, like, oh my God, I'm gonna have nightmares because he did a crazy celebration. I mean, disrespect, I don't condone that. I ain't gonna even,
Well, there's
but I
silly
mean,
stuff though
but a
too.
celebration,
Yeah.
happy that you scored, happy that the fruits of your labor paid off and your hard work and practice has finally paid off. I don't see a problem with that, man. I just
No, not
don't.
at all. It needs to be a part of the game because it's an entertainment thing. It's
Well, I mean, you said
entertaining.
before we get into it, I mean, the Pop Warner thing.
Yeah.
When I was in Pop Warner, you wasn't allowed. If you would get a penalty if you tried to, like, you could barely even dap up your buddies if you scored in those like little Pop Warner, like the smaller games, like the Pee Wees and the Twerks and
Right.
all that. So we already knew that you couldn't celebrate because if you did anything more than sometimes I don't even know if spiking it was like frowned upon. But this is in the 80s though. This is the 80s now.
Yeah.
80 going into the 90s. Like, so it wasn't very common, but in Pop Warner, you couldn't really celebrate, but they at least allowed you to, hug your teammates or
Right.
like I said, I think after a while they allowed you to spike it as long as you didn't like spike it in somebody's face. I mean, that's
Right.
even like in the NFL today. You can't walk up
Right.
to a player and spike it right in their face, you know, but you can't spike it and, you know, but it's just to strip that away from somebody.
It's unfair.
The only people that are screaming to strip it away is the people that can't do it themselves.
Yeah.
And they are jealous of you celebrating. So they want to take that away from you because you're happier than them. And misery loves company. So they want to be sad. So they want you to be sad. So they want to be banned out of the game.
Because fucking reasons.
Because the NFL at one point had gotten real strict on celebrations. And then they start calling it the NFL, the No Fun League. And
Yeah.
then the NFL finally said, now we can do. That's what cracked me up. The NFL went from totally strict, you can't do nothing, to they almost let the gates wide open. Now you could do choreographed celebrations and all of that.
But, and I'm glad you brought that up because like every time there's a defensive score, or not even a defensive score, if there's like a fucking interception, literally.
Yeah, it ain't even gotta be a score, it could be a fumble. The whole fucking team come down to the end zone and take pictures and all type of shit.
But then if you watched the Buffalo game 2 weeks ago, Josh Allen did a little fucking naked
like a little point and shit. Yeah.
And he just pointed. And they're like 15 yards. I'm like, the fuck? How is that worse than literally, the whole defensive
One
team?
celebration I remember is when the Steelers got their asses beat by the Eagles and AJ Brown caught that touchdown. And he put his hand behind his back and pointed at both of the motherfuckers he just burnt. It was like Minka and somebody else. He was like, Bake. They gave him a penalty for it, but I don't know. I don't think it should have been a penalty. Shit.
And they're like, it's taunting. It's like, once again, if you don't like it, fucking stop it. Like, what would you like? Because once again, defensive players do the exact same thing. Like, if TJ Watt gets a fucking sack, he does this little fucking.
Blew the leg up and all of that.
How is that not taunting? Explain that to me. Like, how is that not taunting the whole offensive line, the quarterback, the running back that was trying to block? You can't do that, but if Josh Allen fucking rolls out and Gabe Davis goes ahead and puts a nice little block and he just points either to the defensive player or Gabe at that point, that's taunting? explain like that's where the whole just let the boys play because at the end of the day, they're kids. They're big.
What do you
They're
think
just
about the one shit that I think Justin Jefferson did when he caught it on the D back and then he like acting like he's small?
hey,
Is that taunting or?
it's fun. That's I call all unless so here's what I would think taunting would really be. After you score or after you get a big play, you're getting in this guy's face, just causing like you're being malicious about it.
I'm
You
just saying,
take
like, yeah, looking at somebody and then spiking it right directly at them. Now
like
that's taunting.
if you go away from it being fun and you cross over into being like personal and malicious,
Yeah.
like if you want a perfect example, anything that Mike Evans and Lattimore do to each other, that's that's not okay. Generally speaking, everything else is pretty fine. So
Well, and
I don't
put
know.
it this way: if what you do can cause a fight, yeah, you probably should stay away from it because you don't want to disrespect. Like
Right.
there's a I ain't gonna say a
There's a
fine line, but
brotherhood.
there is a line between celebration and
Hmm.
disrespect. Now, if
Right.
you're flat out trying to disrespect, then yeah, that needs to be taken out because it can cause me to want to fight you.
Right. And I get like it's difficult for, and I know we're really focused on the NFL because it's really like let's be honest, it's probably the most animated of the leagues. Um, but it,
Well, I
it
mean, the NFL because it's harder to score.
right.
Hockey is probably the hard. Baseball's hard to score too, but they don't go crazy. Like I don't know. It's
Mm-mm. I mean, so hockey, it's kind of they do like the group hug kind of
yeah.
deal. Like if it's a big score, if it's a big goal, like you may see the goal scorer kind of
Or
run
if
and
it's
jump
a third goal, you'll
into
see
the
hats
grass.
hit the ice and all
Right.
that shit. But that's the fans,
Right.
hat trick and all that.
So it's pretty. I would say it's pretty docile in that sense from a celebratory thing. And I don't know how much that has to do with like the international flair to it. If that's kind of almost frowned upon in their individual countries, I don't know. That's just more speculative on my side. But you don't really see
Yeah, I ain't
anything
never
that's like
seen a
egregious.
hockey player score a goal and then start doing any dances or anything like. So is that a black white thing? So because the white players can keep their composure and in black sports, black people just gotta go fucking ham
No,
sandwich up.
I think it's difficult to fucking dance on skates on ice, dude. To be honest.
Yeah, true, true.
But I honestly I think that's more of an international thing, like the from Russia, and I mean they're not really the most charismatic people. Um, I don't know. I mean it's just kind of a off the beaten path, kind of off the cuff thought of it, but it just never
Okay,
has
let's
been.
go to another sport that okay, pretty boring sport, golf. You think Tiger Woods would be known of who he is if he wasn't doing this shit after every
Goddamn,
fucking
nope.
tournament? That's like he copyrighted that shit. You know, I mean,
He,
before
he
motherfuckers would
really fucking
win,
did.
and you ain't even see them so much as smile when they won the Masters. Tiger went crazy, and he made that shit a more popular sport
Yeah,
off of celebration
that's a great
alone.
point. That's a great point. Huh? I didn't even think of El Tigre there. Golly. Yeah. Huh.
Yeah.
Well, I think in this conversation, I think we kind of found out, and I kind of knew we were both on the same page of it, but um, I there is that fine line. Be careful. Don't be a dick about it. But I feel like anyone that is very anti, no, you guys shouldn't do this. I do think it comes down to one, the jealousy, and
Form of
two, you were probably the person who either got burnt by that play, or you threw that pitch, or you got postered. Like you were that person on the other side when you were younger, and you're like, I don't like how I felt.
you,
Shut the fuck up,
you
pussy.
shouldn't do that. Oh, I don't want to leave everybody hanging from yesterday. Remember I said a
I
certain
know. And I had to think about it, and I went through NFL coaches. I'm like, oh, this motherfucker's talking about okay, yeah,
prime time.
uh-huh.
Deion Sanders. When he was in his prime playing as a player, I thought he was too cocky, too arrogant. I thought he just danced too much. But as the years go on and I understand and I
Yeah,
got older, I appreciate his celebrations, man. And I appreciate even his, confidence right now. You know, even
I
as
got
a
2
head
prime
coach.
jerseys in the closet right now.
Yeah,
Love
Dion
prime
is a
time.
bad. I
Bad
don't know how many
motherfucker.
times I see him on TV and I'd be like, Dion's a bad motherfucker, man. And
Yeah.
even down to when he was on NFL Network just doing, highlights and shit like that, he kept it as real as possible. I mean, the dude is
Mm-hmm.
authentic as fuck. He's one of those type of people. But yeah,
Yeah.
I frowned upon it when he was actually playing. But as I got older, yeah, I don't know. Shouldn't it be the opposite? Shouldn't it be as I'm
No,
getting older,
I
I
think you
frown even
eventually
more upon celebration?
no,
No.
because you got wise to it, and you're like, no, I enjoy this. This elicits
And
when
start
he does
realizing
what
how
he
hard it is to do what these. I mean, like,
right.
as far as shut down corners with Dion's ability, there's probably 2 or 3 corners that came along since his time that can
Mm-hmm.
even carry his jockstrap. Maybe like Revis
Yeah,
and
I was gonna say
uh,
Revis. Yeah,
another shutdown corner who did it for.
Sauce is getting there. I'm telling you, Sauce is getting there.
The jury's still out on Sauce for me. He don't. He's not a lockdown corner to me. Not yet. He still
That's what
has
I'm
to
saying.
put
He's
up.
getting there. Like
I mean,
Sauce, hold on,
he's today's premier
Is
modern corner, but he still has to put up a bigger body of work
wait,
for me. I mean,
listen,
he's
listen,
only 2 years
listen.
old.
The sauce is simmering. You're welcome. Yeah,
He still got to show me a little bit more.
I get it.
But as far as like before Revis, I mean, there were certain corners, in their prime. Jalen Ramsey in his
Yeah,
prime
Ramsey.
against when he was playing in Jacksonville, Jalen was unstoppable. That
Yeah.
dude he could not be beat.
Nope. Not
But
touching him.
but just think about all them years that since Dion played up until now, there hasn't been a corner that can duplicate his success. So that would makes me even understand Dion's braggadociousness or whatever the fuck you want to call it, his swagger even more because he knew he was a once in a lifetime type of player. And he was just strutting and letting you know. Motherfucker, to this day, motherfuckers score, and when they get to the
They pay
10,
homage.
they high
pay
step.
homage.
That all is because of Deion Sanders.
Mm-hmm.
He invented that shit.
Yeah.
So
and I think there's very, very, very few athletes across the board anywhere that literally talk the talk and walk the walk. He is
walk the walk.
He's the GOAT in regards to kind of being able to talk his shit and literally back it up every time.
Yeah. Like the only person that claimed some shit and was able to fulfill was Joe Namath, and they glorified him for it. So you trying to tell me that Deion Sanders can't talk a bunch of shit and motherfucking he backs it up and he gets ridiculed? It's like, okay, like you loved when what was it, Babe Ruth? He pointed out to the damn, and said where he was going. You glorified him for it. Why is you ridiculing Deion Sanders?
Can we also say that was lucky as fuck though? Like,
it's all of it. I mean, Joe Namath and them winning the Super Bowl, that was luck too. I mean, and probably Deion, some of his success is luck, but skill as well is involved. I mean, you got to look at Deion. Deion was one of those dudes that he sat there and won the Super Bowl with one team, and then went to the next team, the rival of that team, and said, "I'm going to win it again," and he did.
I love it so much. I think moral of the story here with everything, I think it is a necessary evil. I think it's fun. I think you need it, especially with I mean, if you want to attract an audience, like nothing attracts audiences more than like big plays. Remember back in the 90s where they were trying their damnedest to get baseball back into the limelight, and they're like chicks dig the long
Mark
ball.
McGwire and Tony Souza.
They were like chicks dig the long ball. Nobody's trying to watch a baseball game where it's a 2-0 pitcher's duel. That's about as boring as watching a cat lick its dick.
I mean, it got to the point where McDonald's was like endorsing these things. Like they were trying. I remember it was like Mark McGwire versus Sammy Sosa, and it was just like an ongoing thing for at least 5 years of, trying, like you said, trying to prep up baseball because baseball had got severely boring. Severely.
And everybody knew they were on steroids. Like anyone,
like when it came out, you surprised? Like what? You surprised?
Right.
What?
Like everyone looked at Barry Bonds, was like, what? I'm like, you see how small his head got? Fuck.
Barry Bonds, when he played for the fucking Pirates, he was like a little kid. He was thin.
Right.
Then all of a sudden, this dude bulks up and just humongous. Like, you didn't see that?
He's really been working on his curls. Shut the fuck up. Stop it. Fucking stop it. But I don't know. I think some people just over exaggerate it. I think some people are over sensitive, well, which is not surprising because let's look at our society. It's super sensitive anyway. But let the like at the end of the day, realize what these people are. They are kids that grew up playing this game that idolize.
They love. They would play
Right.
for free. They've been playing it for free up until they got a professional contract. And you thought that as soon as money got on the line, that the kid was gonna fucking come out of them and they was gonna grow up right there on the spot? No, these are just kids with a different age.
It's an exciting thing. Like just look at people in general. Let's say you go to work and you get that fucking promotion. You leave that boss's office. You're doing that fucking Tiger Woods shit. Absolutely. Like it's a normal human thing. What,
Emotion. It's a normal human reaction to success.
Yeah.
So you're supposed to downplay success and treat it the same way that you treat a blunder or error.
I had fucking toast this morning. Just fucking go. It's like, what? Like,
yeah. Like, or you know how, like in the NFL, when they make a boneheaded player or throw an interception, the player takes his helmet and slams it down. I mean, like, are you telling him, pick up your helmet and remain professional? I mean, he's pissed he made this damn error.
I mean,
if I make an error and I'm allowed to be pissed, shouldn't I allowed to be happy when I do a good job?
No, because logic. Uh-huh. That's what it is.
Arrogance, because I'm arrogant.
Okay. It's like, oh, well, that's childish. Oh, you mean? Yeah, I mean, is it childish? I mean, you shouldn't spike your helmet, no. But once again, you're allowed to have emotions. It's okay to have them. Have fun with the game that you're paying paid millions of dollars to entertain people. Like you're not just paid because you're good. You're paid because you're you're an entertainer. That's what that. Do you think they're giving commercials and promo spots and sponsorships to people that have zero charisma? No. Do you think if Patty Mahomes had no charisma, he wouldn't do fucking State Farm ads and some shit?
Subway and all that bullshit. Yeah.
Right. Like.
And then that same lady, that brick wall you were talking to, if she in her, it doesn't even have to be sports. In her profession, like you said, if she gets a promotion and her job tells her, oh, welcome, you're the new manager, this is your new salary, she's going to be that first person that go into that other office or whatever office she might get promoted to and be like, yeah, she's going crazy. Or did she just take the promotion and just keep her head up like nothing happened? What kind of fucking shit is that?
Hypocritical, contradictory stuff. And that's just what it is. I think the thing that pissed me off is when she was like, I bet you don't even have kids and you've never really been around kids. I'm like, because I don't think everyone needs a trophy.
Have kids, what does that have to do? Like, what point is she making? You got to have kids to understand kids celebrating.
Because I was advocating, like, I think it was cool. I think he was excited. He got this big hit that tied up the game. He's excited for the boys. He did his little Randy Arozarena fucking bat flip, and he was like, "Hey, I pimped this shit. That's what I was looking to do." There's nothing wrong with that. Like, it's just fun. And his parents were excited. If you got
kids, explain to your child after he makes a hit like that, explain to him why he can't celebrate.
Right.
I'll wait. As you do that dumb shit and watch your kids' facial expressions as your dumb fucking ass try to explain to him he can't celebrate, I would pay money to see that.
Yeah. It's just the weirdest way to look at things because she was very adamant about kind of, what about the other team? It's like, fuck the other team. Like, You mean to
And the
tell
other
me they
team's
never
job
did?
is to stop me.
Because you know, at the end of the day, like how I would look at that, it's like, all right, motherfucker. I mean, kind of. I mean, fuck you for doing that, for making me look like an asshole. Fair enough, but I'm gonna get your ass next time. Like that's how I look at it. I don't think enough people do that. They're,
That's
you
what
know,
sport is.
like
It's competition. It's
that's
okay.
what I said. That's
It,
what I said. I said
that's what
exactly. I'm
sports
like, if you
is.
don't
It's
like it,
two teams that it's not a pat on the back contest. It's not a don't shame the other person type of contest. Two teams line up and say for fucking 48 minutes, or wherever how many minutes, 4 quarters, I'm gonna try to beat you. And you're going to try to beat me. And we're going to go back and forth until when the clock strikes triple zeros, whoever scored the most wins the game. That is sports 101.
and
Like, so
that's another point
there's
I
no
said.
apologizing to the other team because you beat them. You know what you signed
Right.
up for. So now we live in a
And
society where
that's exactly
if
what I
you beat
said.
people, you got to apologize to them because you beat them.
Right. And that's what I put in there. I was like, so let me get this straight. So, like, if you don't like it, don't do a versus thing. Like, it doesn't have to be a sport. Don't do a versus thing. Like, if you don't think people, well, they shouldn't be taught arrogance before they're 14. I'm like, because dude hung a pitch and dude fucking swatted that bitch out the park. That's arrogance, and he got excited, and in his head in real time he had this magnified fucking moment where he like was able to go back and like, oh man, I remember when I watched Tampa Bay Rays, he hit the same kind of home run and he did his little fucking bat flip. I'm gonna do the same thing because that's my
He
favorite
shouldn't be
player.
taught arrogance before 14. Okay. Do kids still have gym class in school today? In
They
today's
do.
world?
Yeah, they do.
Even like little games that kids play inside the classroom with the teacher. Even if it's a math problem, they're competition right out the gates. Like there's no,
Yeah.
before you're 4. These kids are learning this shit in kindergarten. First grade, they're learning to be competitive. Like, I remember when I was in grade school, my math teacher, I mean, he was smart. Like, he would have it where he would put a problem on the board and he would have 2 sections and he would call out 2 people and we would have to race up to the board and get the
Oh, it
problem
was
done.
like
And whoever
Family
got the
Feud or
problem
some
done
shit. That's
faster
cool. Okay.
won whatever. You got a star or you got some extra
Yeah.
this, extra that. I mean, that was grade school. What are you talking?
I think, and that's actually a really, really
Like
good
a
thing.
true brick wall.
Like, and just think about what that felt like, right? Because I you said that, and I did that in my head. I'm like, if I missed that, I'm like, I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna get the next one. All right. Let me focus in harder. Let me. Okay. Oh, boom. Let's go. Like, I gotta be quicker. Like that's. I feel like that's the normal way to look at it, but I think for whatever reason we had some kind of weird transition in our heads that now it's like, if you miss that problem, oh, everything is terrible. Hey, Billy, it's okay. Everybody loves you. And he's very, very sorry for hitting that home run off. It's
Find
like,
hold
what the
your hand
fuck?
society bullshit that's going on now where everything's accepted and no person left behind and all that. Man, that fucking cream
Like,
puff society
what
bullshit.
is that doing to people? Like, just thinking about, like, what is that doing to people? Like,
Cream puffing them the fuck out.
like that's and that's kind of, I mean, not to jump into this part of it, but that's kind of why me and Tiff have difficulties kind of. I mean, I'm trying real hard and she tries hard to like match up with the energy that we both put in, but I'm much more aggressive. I'm much more old school. I'm much more hardened. I'm I'm very like, hey, listen, life is difficult. I want you to be ready. Like, I don't want your disappointment to happen and then you sit here and lose your shit or break down into some kind of weird shell of yourself.
What do you think when the kid does finally experience whatever harsh condition that may be thrust upon them? What
Columbine?
what advice do you think he's going to value more? The "it's okay, honey, everything's good," or "motherfucker, suck it up and deal with it"? He's going to appreciate the hardcore, tough love advice you gave him over some "okay, honey, we'll get him."
He may appreciate it, but what's going to give him that warm feeling is that everything is okay. And unfortunately, that is, you fall victim to that and you fall into it because it's a nice little cloud pillow. And then you just think everything is okay. And I don't know. Like, I
I'm just
think
saying. I
it's,
mean, some of the tough instances and the tough situations I've dealt with in my life,
uh-huh.
I appreciate the hard knock lessons
Me too.
that I was given, so I didn't break down or I didn't lose my shit when it happened.
Right.
I was kind of prepared for it because
We're
I was
built the same
told
way.
life is not easy. It throws you
Mm-mm.
curveballs, and you gotta adapt and adjust because shit can be fucked up. As opposed to, I'm out there naive and oh, this person would never take my money. Next thing I know, my money has disappeared. Like because I
Gotcha,
was too
bitch.
gullible and I fucking trusted everybody. No, I was told at a young age, don't trust. Most of the time, people's intent is fucked up. So I walk around with that. I don't know
Shell.
you. You out to get me until I fucking find otherwise. That is my
Right.
mentality of anybody I don't fucking know.
Right. Yeah. I mean, so we're kind of built in the same, to a degree. I mean, I mean, you have like a pistachio shell. I have like a peanut shell, but
Man, that shit is, you can't even get that bitch open. That motherfucker
yo,
cracked the teeth.
shout out to pistachios. Those are fucking delicious.
Aren't they awesome?
Um, Whew, golly, Tiff can't say the word pistachio. It's fucking hilarious when she
How did
tries to
she
say
say
it. Pistachio. It's just fucking hilarious. It is glorious.
it?
And anytime I get a chance for her to say it, I'm like, I get like a giddy schoolgirl. I just start giggling for fucking hours. It's beautiful. Anyway, um, yeah. So look, I mean, I may have talked about this before, but everyone's been dead since I've been like 18 or 19. Everyone's dead. I'm 37, I think. Yeah, probably somewhere right around that age. I stopped counting really at that point. Once once my once I got the grays and I stopped being able to like have hair on my head, I just stopped counting. I'm like, fuck it. I'm closer to dead than not. So whatever. Um, I I learned like I'm a pretty independent person, and I don't really like to ask for help. I like to do things on my own, but I've learned to soften my things in a way where like I tried to put together this chainsaw today. Shit was not happening. Normally, Neanderthal me, I would have chucked this thing off the fucking porch, but I was like, let me bring it in the house. Let me slightly put it down on the ground. I didn't put it slightly on the ground. I may have dropped that shit. Anyway, doesn't matter. It's a work in progress. It's like Tiff, you gotta help me because you got the bigger dick in this relationship when it comes to man stuff. So fucking figure that shit out because I'm good at breaking stuff. I'm not good at putting stuff together. But um I've learned over the years, like, hey, look, life is hard, get a helmet. And it is out, it's not out to get you. I don't mean to make it sound like that because that's not necessarily true, but life is not going to be easy. You For the majority of the 99%, life is not handed to you. You have to earn, scratch, claw. Some people have it better than others, but at the end of the day, life is just
The
the
advice I gave my
arena that you're
son
in.
and my daughters, I'd rather you be over prepared for some fucked up shit than to be
Yeah,
blindsided when it do happen. So I might over exaggerate and make it seem like it's way more fucked up than it is. But
but you're
when the
ready.
shit don't happen, when the shit does happen, you're not gonna be totally struck. And
Right.
because some people don't, when something happens to someone and they're not prepared for it, sometimes they can't bounce back from that shit. They really
Yeah.
can't. So
And I think being a father, like those are the things that kind of keep you up at night because you see the society around them, and then you realize you are there. You're this one beacon that's saying, no, I'm going against the conventional grain that society is now, and you just get worried because you're like, damn, man, like you were built to fail based on how this stuff, like in the grand scheme of
How
life,
you being set up? Yeah.
right, you were built to fail. And it's not because you're bad, good, or indifferent. It's just what around you is not as welcoming as it is. It's not like you know what doesn't pay the bill? Nice, wonderful, good feelings. Doesn't
Yes.
pay the like it just because at the end of the day, you have to live with yourself. Like you can pretend that all these wonderful emotions are happening, and even if something bad happens, everything is going to be okay. Well, guess what? It's not always okay. Sometimes you have to make your own okay. And um, I don't even know how we got on this subject, but I just I don't know. I really don't know how we got on this one, but yeah, oh yeah, the softness of the how people
Well, we
are
got
now.
on it
Yeah,
because of
that's
the brick wall lady that
yeah, the softness of how people are now and
like,
can't handle celebrations.
we were talking about sports, and you know you want to everything's going to be okay, and you got to
Right.
apologize for anything. Like, no, life's hard, man. So yeah,
Well,
let's.
this is what y'all get with the X's and O's of life, by the way. Like we have topics and we just go on rabbit holes because there was another topic we were gonna do, but fuck that because we're running on time. So
All right.
um so to give you guys a bit of a preview here, because I know it would kind of probably make more sense to do this draft next week, but it's my podcast. Fuck you, I make the rules. So there's karma. Thanks, God. Appreciate it. All right. So podcasts are hard. Get a helmet. There you go. So, what we're gonna do next week? It's gonna be pretty interesting. So we're gonna talk about Black Friday and how it's like 3 months long and how fucking shenanigans that is. And then the draft next week is gonna be a battle royal of us being in a department store. So it's me against Jermaine. We're gonna do 4 or 5 rounds, and we're basically trying to injure, maim, kill, whatever with whatever items we can get. So we'll do like a top 5 or top 4. That's next week. So what we're doing this week is, and we've done this before with like picnics and stuff like that, but in holiday kind of tradition here, um, we're gonna build our perfect Thanksgiving meal. So it's gonna be the main course. I would say 2 sides. Do you want to do a drink? I feel like that's kind
I
of meh.
mean, like,
Well, do you want to do 3 sides then? Like, because I kind of want this to be a 5 rounder. We could do the main course, 3 sides, and a dessert.
mm,
Because there's so many fucking sides, man. Like, let's be honest, you can make anything out of anything.
yeah, yeah. Drink is not like there's no drink that makes me think of Thanksgiving.
Right. Okay. So, um, I don't know who wants to go first here.
Uh, doesn't matter to me.
I mean, whatever. I'll go. I mean, turkey, whatever. Fine. Oh my god! But I know nobody saw that coming. I know. Fucking boring. And to give you a perspective here too, how literally how anti I am that. Apparently, we're doing brisket this year, so fuck turkey.
So you don't like turkey?
No, I do like turkey, but it's just so fucking
Oh,
vanilla and boring to me. It's like
I mean that's
let's
what
do something.
Thanksgiving. I mean it's a every year thing. I mean
Yeah,
it's not
but you
like
know what?
there's no other holiday that I can recall where you break out the turkey. There's just no there's no there's no cookout in July or July 4th where you break out a turkey. You just don't.
I mean, that's actually a really good point. But I think my kind of read on it, and I'm going completely off the rails here, is I don't think I need to follow some fucking preordained
tradition that happened before I was anything other than something in my dad's balls. I feel like I should be able to create something different. Like I want to do
Have
something
you ever
fun.
done? Have you ever done like the deep fried turkey or
Yeah,
Cajun turkeys or anything like that?
I used to bang this girl in Ohio when we did that one year.
Oh, okay. Was it any
Yeah.
different than? I never had it. I always hear about it.
Well, so they had a farm too, so it was like they killed that shit that day, and
Damn.
they they were so um they weren't hillbillies, but like they had land and they were definitely Republicans, but like um so actually oh, that was actually Candace, actually the one before Tiff, so there's that. But
Okay.
yeah, I did that. It was like gamey and fucking gross a little bit, and I'm like, yeah, I don't really like this. Like, give me the process shit, thanks.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want it straight off the farm. Give me a couple. Let it sit a couple days.
Mm-mm. Yeah. All right, so the boring one's out of the way. Go ahead. What are you doing for your
Well,
main?
my boy answer definitely ham.
Okay, I like ham. Actually, all right. So, what are your feelings on ham? Do you just use a straight regular boring ham, or do you do something? Do you do like maple infused or fucking hickory, or what do you do?
Just mainly just ham with the glaze on it. Like, my ex normally would just get a straight ham and then he would bake it and put the glaze on it. It was good. And then here lately, they got like hams that are kind of already kind of I ain't gonna say pre-sliced, but they're kind of like a spiral type of thing. And
Yeah.
you just cook it and then the pieces kind of rip off easily, as opposed to traditionally where you had to cut it and shit. But
I think that's kind of fun though. Like, I think that's like part of the like that's like part of the process. Like, you get that big ass fucking Michael Myers some bitch out there, and you're like, somebody hold my beer, literally. Let me cut this bitch open.
cut that ham. I like a lot of people, when they get the ham, they like, the most inner piece that's, I guess, less burnt. I'm the opposite. I like the outside pieces, like the parts. I'm not saying I like burnt ham. It's just I like the more well done ham. Like I like the pieces that are, on the outside, or cut me a piece off the outside because I like that glaze and stuff like that. So,
You kind of like
mhm.
to get the little skin kind of deal. Okay, I get
Yeah,
that.
or like the
Yeah, I
well
don't
done pieces that are on the outer brims. I'll attack those first before I attack like the inner part
see.
of it.
I don't like ham because it's too. It's like I hate like the fat deposits. That shit's gross to me.
Oh, I don't like. I definitely I get away from the fat. Like if I get a piece of ham and it's got fat on it, I am ripping that shit completely off or cutting
Same
that
with
off.
same with same with dark meat on fucking turkey. I'm like,
Turkey,
get that shit away
I'm
from
not a dark meat person. I mean, I'm a dark meat person. But as far as turkey goes, I don't like the legs. I mean, like some people be like you be seeing those football players when they play on
right.
Thanksgiving, they bite
Fuck
the damn
that.
turkey leg. I'm not a fan of the legs. I'm not a fan of the wings or nothing. Give me the straight titties of the motherfucking bird. The
There you
white
go.
breast meat, and that's it. I don't want none of that extra shit on the outside.
Nah,
Mm-mm.
I am. Yeah. So we're on the same boat there. So if I'm doing it, like, yeah, just give me the titty and we'll keep it moving. We're fine.
Yeah, just smack me with the titties. That's the only time you can smack me with them titties, because that's what I want.
Right.
I'm kind of the same way with chicken too. I mean, I like chicken breasts.
Mhm.
Like I can do wings of chicken, but drumsticks, nope.
Yeah.
Thighs, fuck no.
Nope.
No.
So, God, we are the same fucking person, homie. It's shit
Yeah.
silly. All right. So number two, and it's once again super basic, but I just love this shit because for whatever reason, like the salt content, and it's just fuck beautiful. I'm going stovetop stuffing, and
Ooh.
I get it. Like, see, I get it, and
I mean, you've
Cassie
had
makes like,
other stuffing like people's homemade stuffings before, right?
yeah, like Cassie makes fucking dressing, and I'm like,
Dressing, yeah, that's what they call it.
Get this soupy bullshit the fuck away from me.
My mom's was okay, and my ex's is, hers is good because she mixes in stovetop with some additional type of, like, she'll put some sausage in it, and it'd be really good, really good.
Look, essentially what it ends up being, it looks like fucking herb bread soup. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Get away from me. It's
But yeah,
gross.
stovetop has definitely got the game on lock as far as the stuffing game. They definitely do. They have a it's a unique taste to it, and like you said, that salty, it's good. It's good.
Yeah, it's just like that perfect kind of because not, I mean, it's not just a Thanksgiving food, right? Like it can be, throughout
Oh yeah, you can have
throughout
stuffing
the
with.
year,
Yeah, you
but
can have
like
stuffing with a regular Sunday dinner. Like you could be having, some Cornish hens or some shit, and you throw a little stovetop in there, and you know.
motherfucker, I've made stovetop for lunch at work. Like, don't fuck with me.
Yeah, it's definitely not
Shit was
an
delicious.
item that is only unique to Thanksgiving because
Right.
it
But
wouldn't be on sitting there on
it
the shelves.
screams it
Like
though.
stovetop wouldn't be making a lot of money. They would only pull it out during Thanksgiving time. Now stovetop is on that shelf every time you go to the grocery store.
Yeah, I mean, and you got the chicken flavor, you got the turkey, you got the pork, you got the cornbread one. Like they got a whole bevy of them. But I think just like
Yeah,
the OG side is that.
he said a whole bevy of them bitches.
Look, the cornbread thing's fire too. Like you never had the cornbread one, it's fire.
Mm-mm, I don't think so.
Yeah, take a gander. All
He said
right, go ahead, number two.
gander.
Take a gander.
For me,
Yeah.
Thanksgiving gotta have some macaroni and cheese, man. Got to
Okay.
have. I'm talking about baked macaroni. I ain't talking about
Yeah,
that
Tiff
fucking
makes
box.
it.
Yeah,
Tiff
I ain't talking
makes
about
it.
that box fucking Kraft macaroni and cheese
Yeah.
golden shower bullshit. I'm talking about some
Yeah.
real motherfucking baked into a sheet type shit, and you
Yeah.
scoop the shit out. Like I'm talking
Oh
good
yeah, no. So Tiff
macaroni
goes
and
hard. She
cheese.
gets like a few different cheeses in there. Like
Yeah, yeah.
I think
My ex was like,
yeah,
it costs money. It's like she would buy
yeah,
all these different cheeses, and the cheese. It would be like it's just basically cheese. It's like cheese at the bottom. Then you get the macaroni and noodles, and then you throw some eggs in that motherfucker somehow to keep it together, and then cheese on the top, and then cheese, and then more cheese, and fucking a cheese fest. Like you feel like a fucking big ass rat.
right.
But yeah,
Yeah,
that
but that's
that is
Tiff's
a
MO.
Thanksgiving staple.
Tiff gets excited over that shit. She gets real happy when she gets to make it. So all right. So this is where I'm gonna go off the grid and do some shit that I like to do. So I like to fry green beans. So what you do, and they're fire. I'm gonna make them this year, like I always do. But you get some olive oil, get that cooking. But and what you do is you get the real ones that you have to like cut. So you put them in
Oh,
there. They
like the snapper joints. Like you got to snap them
yeah.
and shit.
Right. So you do that, you get them going in there. You get some onion powder, some garlic powder, some salt, and you let those bitches
Like,
you
yeah,
let them
look at you,
simmer.
motherfucker. Deep diners, dive-ins, and drives, motherfucker. You,
Yeah.
you like, yeah, you get your
Yeah.
cumin, and you all pouring the shit, and you like, you get your garlic sauce.
Right. And what you do is you kind of let them you kind of let them simmer for like an hour and a half to 2 hours, and you put it on super 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 low, but they just start to kind of, some of them start to blacken, some of them don't, but they have this. I don't even know how to explain. It's almost like it's like a sweet and salty taste, and you get it's fire. Like I don't even know how to explain it other than just being fire. But I do it. It's something I got from my grandma, man. My grandma did it back in the day, and I just gravitated towards it, and it's just that side that it just meshes. I don't know how any other way to put it. It just meshes. So that's kind of off the grid. Like I said, it's not a conventional thing that people are really going for, but yeah, that's my number 3. Or my second side, I should say.
Yeah, my number 3 or my second side is, you know, the only green vegetable that majority of black people do. The majority of black people do eat during the holiday season, and it doesn't have to just be Thanksgiving. Black people eat this side on Christmas as well as any kind of cookout sometimes. It's collard greens.
Easter. Yeah.
Yeah, Easter. Yep, collard greens. I mean, I don't. Some people, they put. Usually, you clean them and you break them down and then you put them in the pot and you buy fucking 90 bags of them, but then when you cook them all down, it comes down to one little pot.
That's what happens with the green beans too. Like
Yeah.
I'll fucking buy like 6 pounds and it comes down to like a bowl. I'm like, what the fuck happened here?
So yeah, your equivalent to that is the same thing with collard greens. You put them in the pot, and then some people put like ham shanks and bones that's already cooked, and turkey tails, and everybody got their own concoction to make the flavor of the collard green come out. But that is a staple, and I mean fucking staple of. I mean, and as far as I know, it's been a lot more common among all the other ethnic groups over the past, I want to say 10 or 15 years, because I've definitely been in grocery stores and I've seen checking out white people with greens and Indian people with greens and Mexicans with greens. So it's definitely has spread across the ethnic groups, but it was primarily, of course, a black thing because it was, some one of the foods that, of course, as slaves, we were only left with so much food that was out in the field that wasn't being farmed.
Right.
So turned it into, some type of delicacy, or not a delicacy, but, something that's edible, so to speak. So, but yeah.
Right. But that's where like the whole additions kind of happened. And now is just another thing the white people stole from you. So there you go. You're welcome.
Well, I mean, that's how chitlins came about as well, too. Slaves, they made the pig, they cut up the pig and they shipped up all the good parts. And then they left the slaves with the odd parts, the neck bones, the snouts, the intestines. And, when you're hungry, slaves somehow turned that into some way to make that flavorful. And, that's why to this day you got, black people that eat chitlins because it's a tradition that.
I mean, you will literally see like pig's feet in the fucking market, and you're like,
and they'd be pickled in a jar or some shit, or you see them in a bag, and I'll be like, my mom used to cook that shit because we was poor, but I never enjoyed it. It was just like I'm starving and I have to eat something, but I didn't enjoy it.
Yeah, I can't imagine anyone how you could.
I don't enjoy chitlins either. I never liked them. To me, they taste just like they smell. Nasty. I never liked them. But some people, you talk to some other black people, they be ready to slap you in the face. Shit, you better bring me some chitlins. I'll be like, not me. I'm not with it.
Yeah. So that shit will not be happening on Thursday here. So
I never enjoyed them. I never got into them. But collard greens.
Okay. All right, so number 4, and this is another kind of off the beaten path. I think the normal thing you could probably go to would be like mashed potatoes, but like we legitimately have those like 3 times a week here. So no, I'm all set.
Yeah,
so
I mean
something.
I mean, my ex and here lately or others, they be doing the thing. I just think that mashed potatoes at Thanksgiving is kind of, I ain't gonna say it's overboard, but I don't know, because you're having turkey,
right?
You almost gotta have them because you want gravy to go on the mashed potatoes and the meat and all of that shit. And
right.
A lot of people make the gravy from scratch, and it'd be like homemade and shit. But go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, that ain't happening. Sorry. So the other thing I kind of make, once a year, it's what are they? Okay. So they're maple chipotle carrots.
Definitely never heard of that one.
Yeah. So
That was good.
basically, what you do is, and it's real simple.
They sound
You
hot. Whoa, I got a helicopter poop.
no, well, so it depends on how you do it, right? Like the cool thing about the cool thing about generally just in general cooking is you get Frankenstein stuff. So what I do is you get the little baby carrots, or you can get or actually no I don't no I get the coins. I don't do the baby ones for this. You get the coins.
Oh, the
So you get the
medallion type
coins.
joints, the little small little
Yeah,
joints. Yeah.
yeah. So you get the coins. You kind of let them thaw out for a few hours so they're not all wet and everything. Get kind of the moisture out of there. Just what you don't want to have it be is kind of soup. You know. So you put that in a big kind of baking tray, for lack of a better term. Then you get a bowl, and essentially all you're doing is doing maple syrup, some salt, and some cayenne pepper, right? So put some cayenne pepper in there, kind of mix it up. It just becomes a bit of a it's just kind of like a glaze, I guess is the best way to put it. So then after you have your kind of base of your carrots on the baking tray, you kind of cover that glaze over. You put it in the oven for about an hour just so it can kind of bake into it, and it's a sweet heat. So if you've ever had like Nashville chicken, it's kind of the same general thing. Like it you get the initial thing where it's sweet, then you get the little heat that follows after it, but it's
A
not
little
anything that's
sting
like,
to it.
oh shit, I can't handle it. But it just has an it's I like it, as you can see, like how I like to cook and stuff. I like the dichotomy of flavors. I like it to be like kind of two or three or four fold where it just is like a layered approach. Like I don't like just straight up, here's your one flavor. So yeah,
You like inception of flavors. You like a
pretty
flavor
much,
that
man.
hides underneath a flavor and that kind of
Right. Because
mixes
that's the fun part.
in.
It's the
Yeah.
fun part. Like, what's boring? Carrots. You know what's not boring? Some shit on the carrots. There you go.
True. True. Okay.
Yeah.
My number 4, potato salad. Homemade, not no store bought
For
fucking.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Interesting. I've
Hmm.
never heard that before.
That's definitely another black or African American type of tradition. Potato salad as well as deviled eggs. Like the potato salad is usually like
Cassie does the
something
eggs.
for
Yeah.
the deviled eggs type thing. And they kind of are made together. It's like whoever's making a potato salad from scratch, they're usually taking like some of the mixture
Huh.
or whatever from the potato salad. They cut open some eggs and they get like a little deviled egg
See,
tray.
that feels like a summer dish though. That feels like a cookout kind of.
Oh, that's Thanksgiving all day, 101. African Americans.
Oh. Okay.
Most of the time, these items that I'm naming, these are traditional African American Thanksgivings that's been going on my entire life, from my mom to my cousins to everybody I know.
Damn.
They have a different. I mean, everybody got their own flavor and the way they do it, but it's still typically traditionally the same items:
Okay.
macaroni and cheese, collard greens, ham, the turkey, potato salad. It's what you fill your plate up with.
Let me learn shit over here. Okay.
Mm,
Well, before we get into the desserts, let's just kind of. Do you have any honorable mentions or dishonorable mentions? Because I got a few of each.
honorable mention. I'm just trying to picture that table with all the shit laying out, and you like, okay, because usually I get those. It ain't no regular plastic plate. It's those like tray type of plates,
Right.
with different compartments and shit. And boom, sure enough, you see right there. There's your silverware or your plastics. You got your napkin and then those plates, and you go and you start attacking and it's like a buffet sitting there.
If you use silverware during Thanksgiving, you're a fucking lunatic. Well, all the shit you gotta clean. The last thing you want to do is start
Like
fucking.
if you're a host of people coming over and you're using real silverware, you're torturing yourself.
Yeah,
I mean, people
motherfucker,
want to
this is
throw
a
that shit away.
BYOB situation. You bring your own fucking plate.
Yeah. So I'm thinking like myself, I got one of them little plates, all right, and I'm grabbing my ham, I'm grabbing my turkey, grabbing my mashed potatoes. Well, I guess mashed potatoes would be the honorable mention. Yeah.
Okay.
Mashed potatoes and gravy. Like I said, gravy from scratch. Some people's gravies are way more excellent than the other. I'm putting some greens on that plate. I'm putting some macaroni and cheese on that plate. I'm putting some stuffing on that plate, which you mentioned. Um, and some potato salad.
What about dishonorable? Like what about ones that are just like gross? No, that away from me.
Dishonorable. I just told you, just like some people like chitlins are very prevalent, and they're definitely dishonorable to me. I don't partake, but they are sitting on the table in a lot of African American settings.
Okay. I'm going cranberry sauce. That shit the fuck away from me.
Yeah,
What's
I mean, you said desserts. That's why I was putting that kind of in the dessert category or whatever.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
People kind of consider that the dessert.
I could see it. It's
like, I mean, like, and I'm not talking like real cranberries in the sauce. I'm talking about the can, straight up can. It even looked like it even got the can little outline on it and shit. Like the little layers and everything. And motherfuckers cut off a little slice of that and that goes like on the plate somewhere. But it's kind of considered a dessert. I'm not a big fan of it. I mean, I've had it and, it's not disgusting to me, but I can go without. Like, I want to tell you probably the past maybe 5 years, I haven't touched it. I've seen it, but I haven't put it on my plate.
Yeah, it's like fucking Bigfoot. Green bean casserole. Get that fucking garbage out of here.
Yeah, see, black people don't have no shit like that.
Yeah, well, Cassie and Will loves that. I'm like, that's the white in y'all, isn't it?
Okay. Yeah, I ain't never been over anybody's house as far as the Thanksgiving goes and green bean casserole sitting there. I've heard of it and I've seen it. I don't think I've ever had it, and I've never seen it in a Thanksgiving setting.
Well, keep treat it like Gabe Davis. So let it be there. Just don't pay no attention.
Just Gabe Davis that thing.
Oh man, yeah. I think that's all I got actually for dishonorable.
Okay.
All right, let's get into desserts here. So I'm not going the conventional thing because pumpkin is overrated and not. I don't know. I don't dig it. What I do like is, I guess you can call it like it's apple cinnamon crumble kind of deal.
Okay.
Where, it's just kind of like the apple cinnamon kind of crumble on sliced Granny Smiths, and you bake that shit, and it's just like this caramelized. It's why I have diabetes, and it's fine. No, I mean the best way to put it, it's almost like baked apple cinnamon oatmeal with caramel in it. Like that's kind of shit's delicious. So I feel like it's nice and hearty, which you don't really need after you just ate your weight. But fuck it, at that point you're like, I'm just cutting some months off my grave here, so we'll just keep it moving.
Now I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I hate to sound. It's not racist. It's just traditionally, African Americans do things a different way, and it's like
sweet potato, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yep. That is it. There is no pumpkin. No pumpkins are involved. Now, I've definitely been in settings where it's more than just sweet potato pie. There's, some people will buy either an apple pie or cherry pie, but it's bought. No one's slaving and creating this concoction.
That's poor wording, sir.
But the sweet potato pies, However many are out there, they are not bought store. They are created
Yeah.
from scratch.
Yeah.
And
No, that's
the
what Tiff
majority of the
does.
time,
That's what
the
Tiff
dessert
does.
table is, let's suppose there's 10 pies on this table. 7 of them are sweet potato pies. There might be
Yeah.
an apple pie sitting over there that's bought from Giant Eagle, a cherry pie, or even sometimes they had doo-doo banana pudding or something like that. But majority of the time, it is sweet potato pie. There
I
is no
fucking love.
pumpkins here.
I love banana pudding stuff. Makes me happy.
Yeah, banana pudding
Yeah,
is
actually,
definitely.
you know what? You know what I might. So I know they're gonna make a sweet potato. She usually makes like a cherry too. I may have her make a banana cream because banana cream is my favorite pie. Like that's my shit.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah, but yeah, we kind of go hard. I'm hoping, you know. Oh yeah, I'm ready. Yep.
Yeah, and yeah, um, definitely
Yeah.
most likely gonna take you up on your offer because I ain't
Good.
just gonna sit here. I just
Well,
ain't.
that's the thing. Like you didn't really have a choice unless you were gonna link up with the ex. You didn't have a choice. You're coming here. I'm
I mean, I want some of that
refuse to
food,
let
but at
you.
the same time, they don't got cable, so I'm not gonna sit there and just say just the
Right.
football game ain't part of my life. Are you crazy?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's funny you said that because Tiff was like, "Oh, you guys can do a draft on Thanksgiving traditions." I'm like, "It's football. That's it.
That is
There
the
isn't
only tradition.
right. There
You
isn't
go,
like."
you,
She's like,
you,
"Well, what did you
you,
do as a
you
kid?" I'm like,
wake
"I
up,
don't fucking
you
know."
smell food, you start watching football until your stomach start growling, and then you keep asking, "Is you almost done? You almost done? You almost done? You almost done?" And then that first game is kind of sniffing your palate and getting hungry. Then that second game is when you actually fucking eat. And then
Right.
that third game is like just kind of the topper at the end, At
The
that point,
third
I'm
game is
watching.
when you're picking at stuff that's still left.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yep, yep.
you're picking at
Like
the random stuff. And you're
you're
like,
not quite fixing a second plate, but you're fixing a half a second plate by just like
well, yeah,
little shit you're picking over.
yeah,
Yeah.
at that point, you're taking a bite of pie with turkey in it. You're like, fuck it,
Yeah.
let's roll. I don't give a shit.
Yep. It's mixing stupid shit that don't even go. Yeah. Like you said, a piece of turkey mixed with a piece of pie and shit. Yeah. Yep. Because it's all going down the same
Yeah,
pipe.
it's gonna be fun. Yeah, yeah, and it's gonna be a bad time. That's yeah, that's good. I'm looking forward to this.
Better keep them bathrooms open. If I touch them
Look,
carrots.
I just thought it. I just thought it. I'm like,
I touch
I
them
may have to.
motherfucking carrots. I'm gonna be out there on your shed with my ass over top of it, like,
I was gonna
oh.
say I may have to install a third bathroom just for your ass.
Shit, you talk about some Chipotle carrots? You crazy?
Yeah, they're not as bad as they sound, but yeah, I know how you're. Because I mean, you and Tiff got the same palate when it comes to the heat, so I kind of know how to play around with it to make sure
I
that
mean, I love it going down, but it's just it tears me
yeah,
up so bad that I've learned to find a way to stay away from it.
yeah. I mean, I'll have you try at least one, and if you want to continue and hurt yourself, then that's on you. Life's hard. Get a helmet. The only thing
Yeah,
that's not gonna be
I'll
yeah,
taste it just for for the taste aspect of it to try to get the inception of layers, but I'm not gonna have a huge helping of it because I know
no,
it'll
yeah.
tear me up.
Don't ruin the day. Yeah, it's not gonna be yeah. It's silly to put yourself in that situation. But
Hmm.
yeah, somehow or another, we went $1.50 again. That's what happens. But a real good show. I like this. We covered a lot of
And we
topics.
didn't even cover the second topic, but we can cover that on the next one.
Yeah, that's one of the things we can put that back in the holster and pull it
Well,
out.
I mean, I just think that the celebration thing, I can think it got a little bit more passionate than we
Than you
imagined it.
thought.
Maybe,
Yeah,
yeah,
I figured it was gonna because you when I told you you're like I don't really know if I have much of a feel on it. I'm like
yeah. I
motherfucker.
was like,
I'm
man,
like
that's
you
a
say
pot.
that shit all the
I
time.
thought it
Let's
was gonna
go.
be something quick, but next time I say something gonna be long, that's when it's gonna be quick.
Once again, it's a Gabe Davis situation. When you think it's gonna be bad, he goes off. When you think it's gonna be bad, yeah,
Oh shit,
everything is Gabe Davis. Fuck
Gabe
that guy.
Davis. When life has no consistency, Think of Gabe Davis, everybody.
Legit. And if you don't know who he is, go look up his stat line. You'll understand completely. That shit will make sense.
Yep.
All right, y'all. Well, listen, good show. We will see you Saturday for the week 11 kind of preview deal for football.
Touch it.
And yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and then back here on Wednesday for the pre-Thanksgiving deal. And
Well, no, back on Tuesday, right?
yeah, I skipped over it. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
We got 3 games to preview for the Thanksgiving,
Oh,
showdown.
we do. Yeah, we actually have to. Okay, yeah, that I don't think it's going to run any longer than it usually does, but we got to maybe be a little quick hitter on it so we can.
Yeah,
because I
we got to
know
break
that.
in and out. We got to jump in and out of our breaks on that one. We'll let it go over too long.
Yeah, because that's see, those are the tough games that are going to be. It's going to be tough to kind of break those down because you're talking about, I guess, you get the one game that it's a short week, but now you're getting potentially 6 teams on a short week. So, interesting.
I'm just glad that Detroit is competitive now. It's not no longer just a glance over. Yep.
I'm gonna get Dan Campbell's face tattooed on my fucking neck.
These motherfuckers are 7-2. That is crazy. Or are they 8-2? No, I think they already
No.
had their bye week 7-2. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, you guys have a good week. Be safe out there. And Santa isn't real. I'm sorry. Bye.
You mean he ain't real?
I mean, yeah.
You-
A fat white
mean
guy
to
breaks into
tell
your house
me
and gives you stuff.
there's not a white man that comes in the ghetto in the projects and hands out gifts without getting robbed?
Have you seen Friday? Yeah. Shit's silly.
All right.
Yeah. That may be a fun topic come Christmas time, just talking about the silliness that we believed as kids. That could be a fun
I
convo.
already said on this before that my parents would not allow anyone to take credit for their they struggled to put together our Christmases, and they was definitely not allowing some random fictional character to take credit for that. So I knew in kindergarten that Santa wasn't real.
It's an interesting way to look at it too, but I respect that too, because it's like, you're not taking my glory. Fuck you.
Yeah. No, kids ain't gonna be running around being naughty and nice and for old Saint Nick. Fuck Saint Nick.
Yeah.
Saint Mary, who was my mom, and Saint William, who was my dad. So they were taking the credit.
Wait, your mom's name was Mary?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mary
so was
Elizabeth.
mine. So was mine. Yeah. That's kind of wild.
Mm-hmm.
We are the fucking same. It's weird. And once again, like just before we get out of here, like this is just some of the goofy shit that we end up finding out about each other. Like I have learned so much about you and just kind of what makes you you and how you tick from this podcast. It's not like we didn't have conversations before, but I think we're almost forced to kind of really dig in to stuff. And it's like, oh, I didn't know this little idiosyncrasy about you. That's fun.
Same here. I mean, if we would have our occasional conversations, and a lot of times it was football related and stuff like that. But until we dove into these topics, yeah, I mean, I didn't know your innermost thoughts, or how you felt on certain situations. So that's what makes it, these podcasts very interesting, because it's like you really are finding out some shit for the first time. This is not rehearsed. This is just two dudes having a conversation. One got a poop, the other don't. So I mean, it's like really just
that's a fair assessment. That's a super fair assessment.
That's what it was. I mean, it was just
the fact that I haven't had to pause this twice for you yet is crazy to me. Like, I'm amazed I haven't had to make like pause poop breaks for you.
No. I normally do, but man, I make sure I'm all tapped out before I jump on here, because there was one time though when you was running, I was just like, "Hey man, we're done." I gotta go. Oh, shit.
All right,
All
man.
right.
Well, listen.
Catch you.
Go fuck yourself, and Santa's still not real. Okay, bye.
Deuces.